better be drawing, Regato, if you're in here. Easy. Sistine Chapel, no problem. Okay, it's 4 o'clock, so we're going to start another episode of Drawing for Kids with EJ Doodles. Today, we're going to be working on creating our own Pokemon. So, what are you going to need for today's lesson? Let's pop that up there here. Alright, so you're going to need 1 sheet of goose paper. Alright, remember goose stands for good on one side only. It's hard to see right now because I'm in a small screen, but this piece of paper has a bunch of little marker spots on it, so that's going to be my warm-up sheet, right? And then 1 sheet of good paper where we're going to draw our Pokemon on. You're going to need lots of colors. I've got a whole bunch ready right here. You're going to need your black marker. I've got a couple different sizes here. You're going to need a pencil. And if you joined us on Tuesday, we're going to use your reference sheet to create some of our Pokemon. So on Tuesday, let's close this. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. How do I get rid of that?
What are you trying to get rid of?
The picture, I forgot how to do it.
At the bottom, you had options. Yep.
Oh yeah, I gotta go over to no picture, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay, so if you joined us on Tuesday, we created a couple reference sheets. We had a bunch of animal heads we did here by using very common shapes, specifically the circle, the oval, the rectangle, and the triangle. And then we went on ahead and we drew a couple body types. So we got our 4-legged bear, cat, dog, tiger kind of body. We have our bunny or our monkey or our beaver. We had our horse type body and we had our bird type bodies. All right, and then we went on to create some tails. All right, and we have our tiger or cat tail, our lion tail, our bear tail, our dog tail, our monkey tail, bunny tail, beaver tail, horse tail, and our bird tail. So it's okay if you don't have these sheets close by because again, we're using our imagination so we can make our Pokemon look however we want it to look like. But I always find it good to have these close by so if I get stuck or I can't think of something, I have something to look at. So we're going to put these up at the top. Okay, so we're going to try to create our own Pokemon today. And if you do not know what Pokemon are, that's perfectly fine. But Pokemon are...
And then if it does on my phone, it stops.
Yeah. So Pokemon, again, sorry for the poor connection here, but Pokemon are magical creatures that you can catch in a video game and you can battle with and you can make friends with. And the most popular one is our buddy Pikachu here. Okay? But if you don't know what Pokemon are, you don't need to know much more than they are a type of animals that have superpowers. So what we're going to do as a warm-up today is we're going to talk about the different elements or the different types that Pokemon can be and what colors we are going to associate with those. So let's get started with our warm-up right away. So the first type, and I think the easiest type for us to draw, is the water type. All right? The water type Pokemon are usually blues. So I have a couple blues here if I decide to do a water type Pokemon later. And I'm going to show you how to draw the most common symbol for water, which is the water drop. So this is the water drop. Okay, and if I took my blue marker, I can quickly color it in for you guys to see. And remember, we talked about highlights to make things look shiny. We just leave little white spots for them so our water drop looks shiny. Let's see if we can zoom in a bit here. Okay, so looking at this water drop, we got to figure out, how do I draw that? And it's taken me a lot of practice to get to be able to draw this without making shapes, but I'm going to show you how you can make it with shapes. So the water drop is simply a circle with a triangle on the top. All right, and then you just connect your triangle to your circle. And obviously I did it in the black marker so you guys can see, and I won't be able to erase these lines. But if you do it in your blue or in a pencil, then you can color it. So we'll start with our circle, getting our hands nice and warmed up. We're going to put our triangle up at the top, off to the side a little bit, connect our lines, color in, remembering to leave some spots that are going to stay white. And you fix our lines a little bit, and you got your water drop. And if you really want later on, remember, stuff always looks good when we outline it with our black marker. Okay, so our water types are primarily going to have different colors of blue. So I've got dark blue. If I want to make my Pokemon even colder or ice looking, I use a lighter blue. And I think over here somewhere I've got a nice dark blue that I can use later too. So I've got a dark blue. So if I'm going to draw a water type Pokemon today, so a Pokemon that uses, that likes to swim, that shoots water, I'm going to use the water type. Okay? The next type of Pokemon we're going to learn to draw is the plant type. Okay? The plant or grass type is going to use mostly greens and browns. Alright, so as a warm-up for grass type, we're going to practice drawing some leaves and some vines. So our leaf is going to look like this. And I'm going to color this one nice and quickly green so you can see the colors that we're going to use for our grass type Pokemon. So to draw the leaf, we got to break it down into shapes again. So what I see here is our oval with our triangle. So again, if you don't want to do it in black marker because you can't erase it, pick the color you like. I'll try a darker green this time. I'm going to draw my green oval, and then right on top of it, I'm going to put my triangle. And then I'm going to color that all in. And if you want your leaf to look shiny, leave a little white spot as a highlight. And then I'll use my black marker again. I'm going to outline it. And then inside my leaf, these are called veins. So you have veins inside you, and the veins carry the blood all over your body. In leaf, the veins carry the nutrients, and they carry the water to where it needs to go. So, if we're going to draw plant types, we're going to use greens. We're probably going to use some browns, because browns represent the earth, the dirt, maybe the bark on the trees. And we're probably going to use some kind of vines, because I know from when I used to watch Pokemon back in the day, a lot of the grass type Pokemon used a move called Vine Whip. So vines are just like our monkey tails. They're just squiggly lines that have a round tip at the end. Okay? So those are just practice our squiggly lines. So draw a couple vines right now. You can go different directions. And if you really want, we can add leaves to our vines. So we just draw a nice little line to say which way do we want our leaves to go. We draw our oval and our triangle. And now our vine has some leaves on it. And then when we're done with our colors, we can go in and add some details, like the veins in the leaves. All right, so far as we're warming up, if you've just joined us, we worked on drawing our water type using our watercolors, and we started with our plant type using our plant and earth colors, and now we're going to talk about our electric type. All right, so our electric type is like our friend, and I've already lost my picture here. I don't know where he went. Pikachu. All right, he's an electric type, and if you see, he's got the shape we're going to practice right here, and this is the lightning bolt shape. So if you're a fan of comics, maybe you can answer the question, who has a lightning bolt shape on their chest? If you said the Flash, you'd be right. So our lightning bolt shape is going to consist, well, of a bunch of different rectangles. And we already know our rectangle shape, right? Our rectangle shape is 2 long sides, 2 small sides. All right? So we're going to draw a bunch of rectangles. So I'm going to show you first here what my lightning bolt's going to look like. All right, that was a horrible lightning bolt, so I'm going to scratch that out. There, that one's much better. Okay, and our lightning bolt for our electric type Pokemons, they're going to be yellow. You gotta be careful sometimes with yellow, because yellow likes to smudge your black marker. So sometimes it's better to draw with your yellow first. Okay? So this is good that, this is our warm-up sheet. This is not our good drawing, so we can just cross things out. But here is where our shapes come into play. So right here is my first rectangle. Alright? So it's got my 2 short sides, it's got its 2 long sides. Then I have another rectangle that goes this way. So one that goes on an angle, and then one that goes horizontal. Then I'm going to do another one on an angle. There's another rectangle, and then another one horizontal. And then I'm going to finish with this shape. Who remembers what shape has 3 sides and a point? If you said triangle, you'd be correct. So underneath, I'm going to show you how to draw that. I'm going to take out my yellow marker. And I'm going to start by drawing a rectangle on a diagonal. Then I'm going to draw a rectangle going horizontal. If you color those 2 in right now, you can see the start of our lightning bolt. Then from this back end over here, I'm going to draw another diagonal lightning bolt, rectangle, sorry, and then have another horizontal one. And then I'm going to finish with my triangle. And if we outline that and just stay on the outside, we have our lightning bolt. And if we have our lightning bolt, we know how to draw Pikachu's tail. So now we've got 3 elements. What other elements can we do? One of my favorite Pokemon, Charmander, he is a fire type. So our fire type Pokemon are going to use oranges, reds, and yellows. Okay? Now the fire types are probably the hardest to draw because they don't follow any real simple shape. They follow a whole bunch of different shapes. So I'm going to start with my markers so you can see, where am I here? Where's my marker? Over here. There we go. All right, and I'm going to draw a flame. All right, this is how I draw my fire. You can draw fire any way you want. It can be messier, it can be neater. But the rule I try to follow is the darker the color, it stays to the outside. So I'm going to start with red being my darkest color. And I'm going to color the outside of my flame red. Then orange is my next darkest color. So I'm going to use my orange to go right beside the red. And it doesn't matter how messy or neat you are. And then the last little bit of the white, I'm going to color with my lightest color, which is my yellow. And now we have a flame. But the flame doesn't really follow any particular shape. Not like our water drop that had a nice circle and a nice triangle, or our leaf that had a nice oval and a nice triangle, or our lightning bolt that used a whole bunch of rectangles. Our fire is a little bit more freehand and flowing. So if you really wanted to break down the fire to help you draw it, I would start with a big egg shape in the middle. So our egg shape, remember, is fat at the bottom, pointy at the top. All right? And then I would add triangles. Lots of different shaped triangles all over in no particular direction. All right? And if you don't like the straight lines, I would try to make them a little bit more curvy. The curvier the lines, the more it looks like the fire is flickering. All right? So you're going to say, that doesn't really look like a fire. But a lot of drawing Pokemon and drawing their elements comes from the coloring. So if we add our reds, it can be a little sloppier because we're just warming up right now, letting our hand be nice and loose. And we add our oranges. And we finally add our yellow in the middle. All right, we have something that kind of looks like a fire. And that's all that really matters. Because fire changes. It's never the same shape. So we can just take our red marker here and just draw all sorts of wiggly lines anywhere. It doesn't have to be perfect. As long as we have the kind of the right colors, it's going to look like fire.
Someone is saying hi there.
Okay, so now we have a little bit of our reference sheet here for our elements. We've got our electric, our plant, our water, and our fire type. And the last one I'm going to show you how to draw here. We're going to introduce a new shape that we haven't learned at all drawing together. And that is called the octagon, or the hexagon, or the pentagon. All right? These shapes are, you will see, you tell me what this shape looks like. Not familiar to you? What if I were to color it red? Can anyone guess what it is yet? What if I was to write, I know it's backwards for you guys, but it says stop in the middle. Yeah, it's a stop sign. So this is an octagon, all right? Octagons have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides. Okay? And the word oct means 8. I can think of an animal that has 8 legs. Can you, Christy? Starts with oct. Oh my God.
Octopus.
There you go. Octopus. Yeah, it's called an octopus because oct means 8 legs. It is an 8-legged creature. Thought you'd get that a lot quicker. So an octagon has 8. Okay? A pentagon is only going to have 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is a pentagon. And then a hexagon is going to have 6. A hexagon is going to look like this. Oh, where am I going here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are 3 different shapes I've showed you, and it all depends on how many sides they have. So oct means 8, hex means 6, penta means 5, and tri means 3. So do any of you ride your tricycle? because tricycles have 1, 2, 3 wheels. So if we have a triangle that uses the words TRI, we know it has 1, 2, 3 sides. Okay, enough for your math lesson. I know I've done enough online teaching today. Have any of you guys gone to online school yet? Maybe done some math lessons with your teachers, some science, maybe some English, some reading. I'm also a science teacher, so I've been doing some science online with my students. So we're going to use the hexagon, pentagon, octagon to make our rock type Pokemons. Okay? So you might just need to practice a couple more times here. So 8 sides. Right? It doesn't always have to be perfect. As long as it has 8 sides, it is an octagon. Now the trick I like to use when I'm drawing my rock type Pokemon is I'm going to use my browns for the earth, or I'm going to use my grays. All right, and muted.
Oh, I don't know if you do that.
So with our rock type, all right, if I color it gray, I'm just going to add little circles in it, or maybe some cracks. That way it's going to look like a rock. So try practicing a couple of those. All right, if you're done practicing, we're going to now try to turn these into our very own Pokemon. So now I'm going to take out my good sheet. I'm going to zoom back out here. There we go. And I'm going to start to look at my reference sheets. So now what I've done looking at Pokemon is I realized Pokemon are just simply animals or a combination of animals. So we're going to pull up a couple here. This Pokemon is literally just a horse or a pony on fire. And it's called Ponyta. This one I have no idea what it's called, but it looks like the monkey we drew on Tuesday, and it looks like it just has a tree on its head. This Pokemon looks exactly like the teddy bear we used. Alright, we drew that last weekend. So Pokemon can't be that hard to draw. Some Pokemon, like this, that my brother sent me today, are a combination of 2 Pokemon. So this one is Mamoswine, or Mamoswine, and I realize it's a combination of the word mammoth, which is an ancient type of elephant right there, combined with the word swine, which just means pig. So if you have a mammoth and a pig put together, you get the Mamoswine Pokemon. So what we're going to try to do today is combine some different animals to make our own Pokemon. Now this is where you're going to let your imagination run wild. You don't have to do what I'm going to do. Alright? But I'm going to choose stuff from what we did on Tuesday, and I'm going to combine it to make our own Pokemon. So I think, what's the first one I'm going to look at here? I like the lion's head. Okay, so I'm going to draw my lion's head. I'm probably going to pick, let's say, my bunny body, and I'm going to use the horse's tail. So I've used 3 different parts of the animals that we drew, and I'm going to combine them together now to make my Pokemon. But we're missing one thing. We need to pick what type of Pokemon it's going to be. So I'm going to look at this sheet to see all the different types we drew, and I think, because I like the colors, I'm going to go with our fire type. So I'm going to make a fire, lion, bunny, horse type Pokemon. Let's see what comes out. So because I don't know what I'm drawing, I'm going to start with my pencil. If I can find out where I put my pencil. I'm losing everything here. All right, this is not my, oh, there it is. So I'm going to start with the body. So I'm going to go back to my reference, and I'm going to draw this body type. Okay, so yesterday, if I believe, we started with an oval. Oh. And we drew a circle in here, and another oval for its foot, and then we drew another oval for its hand. All right, and so this is what we did yesterday. Now I'm going to take its head. So I'm going to bring out this reference sheet, and I am going to use the line reference head. So I'm going to put my circle on there for my head. I'm going to look at what I did on Tuesday, which was I used 2 semicircles for the ears. Remember, semicircles are just half circles. I used, it looks like a rectangle or a square for its nose. I used a big triangle for its nose. I used 2 little ovals for its eyes. And I want my line to be angry, so I angle my eyebrows towards the nose. And then I added my little happy face mouth, and I'm going to add some teeth onto this one. What am I missing from my line? If you said the mane or the hair, then you'd be correct. All right? And I didn't draw the tail yet, because this is where I think I'm going to let my imagination go wild, and I'm going to make it a fire type Pokemon. So our fire type, if you remember, okay, is going to use our oranges, our yellows, and our reds, and they're going to be kind of wild. Okay, there's no real shape to it. So I'm going to use this wild shape to make the hair on my line and the tail of my line. So I'm going to start with the hair. And if I bring this one into the picture, hopefully you can see what I'm looking at. So I got my hair down here. All right, and I'm just going to go wild with it, because that's fire is wild. Okay, and then I said I was going to use the horse's tail. So I'm going to go back to my horse tail sheet, which is right here, and I'm going to use that tail, and I'm going to make it look like fire as well. Now, all that's left is to color it. So I'm going to use the colors we decided would look like a fire type. So I got my oranges, my reds, and my yellow. So I think I am going to make the body orange. So I'm going to quickly color in my body here, staying away from my mane. And because I didn't erase my pencil and I'm using marker, I can see my pencil underneath, so when I need to trace my black lines, I'm going to color inside the face and color its ear. How are we doing for time?
It's 4:30. Half hour in.
Okay. And then I'm going to use my reds and my yellows to draw my fiery mane or my fiery hair. So now I'm going to trace my fire with my red. I'm going to do some fire over here. Color the inside yellow. I've already used orange for the fur. Now all that's left is to add our black. So I am going to make my nose black. And like I always do, I'm going to leave a little highlight to make it look shiny. I'm going to make my eyes black with my eyebrows. I'm going to outline my lips. I'm going to outline my snout. You know what? I'm going to give it some whiskers. Now I'm going to outline the rest of my Pokemon that we just created together. And just that quickly, we created a Pokemon. I have no idea what to call this one. I mean, it's a fire lion. So maybe if we combine the letters, we can call it a Firion. There we go. We got a Firion Pokemon right there. So now you can see, I did a couple practice ones here for you guys. Just to show you, I did Psychic Ghost Monkey Head with the tiger tail, and this looks like my bear body. And then I also did a plant type Pokemon on this side, where I used the bunny's body. It looks like I did the beaver face. All right, and instead of the bunny ears, I made them leaves. Because we decided on my other sheet, wherever it went, got too many sheets open here, that our leaves would be brown and green colors, and this is what our leaves look like. So I just took those and said, hey, those look like my bunny ears, and I put them here. And then I gave it 2 monkey tails instead of just 1. So this is where you can let your imagination run wild. All right, I'm going to show you a Pokemon I created today, just for you guys. So I've been watching on Disney Plus an elephant documentary, so I love elephants, and I've been watching a show about alligators, so I decided to make a plant and ice type Pokemon with an elephant and an alligator's tail. So I have a standing up bear's body, or a gorilla's body maybe. I've got my alligator's tail, and then I got my elephant's head. And because I want it to be a plant type, I used my greens and I used my browns to color down here, but I also wanted it to be an ice type, so I combined 2 different types of Pokemon. So I used my light blue to give it these little icebergs on its back. And it's that easy to create Pokemon. So this one I called Eleglace. All right, so E-L-E from the elephant, and glace is the French word for ice, or the word glacier, which is a big iceberg. So that's where I came up with that one. So you guys can do a whole bunch to create a whole different bunch of Pokemon. Now I did say I would teach you how to draw 1 Pokemon today that you would know and love from the original Pokemon series. So I'm going to try to do that quickly right now, while you guys then, when I get off, can create lots of different Pokemon, lots of different types, show me what animals you've mixed and matched. So we're going to go back to our Pikachu here. So I didn't draw this one. This is a Pikachu I printed off of the internet, okay? And I printed it so that I can show you how we can learn to draw our favorite characters from our TV shows. So just like we've been doing the last couple episodes, we use shapes to draw Pokemon. So if I need it, or anything, our animals, our dinosaurs, our Spider-Man shape. So if we want to learn how to draw Pikachu, all right, we have to find the shapes. All right, some shapes are really obvious. Like right here, we have an oval with a bunch of little triangles they use for fingers. All right, and his hand here is just another oval with triangles. We already learned how to do our lightning bolt shape. Here's one rectangle with another rectangle. Okay, so it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangles and a square at the bottom to make his tail. And we've got our leaf shape, our ovals with a triangle on the top to make Pikachu's ears. When you start to break down drawings into its shapes, they don't become that complicated. So on Pikachu here, I see he's got pretty much a circle for a head. And I see that he has these cheeks out here, so that's probably another circle right here to make his cheeks. I see circles for eyes. I see a little triangle for the nose. I see a curvy looking triangle for the mouth. And then he does our happy face shape that we practice on all our animals. And then his body. His body looks like a combination of shapes for me. I see a square. And then I see an oval. It takes practice to spot shapes. So this is a good way to see shapes in everyday life. If you get bored today, another thing you can do is to open your front door or your back door, look at something outside, and try to draw it using shapes. And then lastly here, I see 2 little ovals. So if I follow that over here, I might be able to draw Pikachu for the first time. And I've never drawn Pikachu before, And I probably should have practiced before I did this live. But I had a fan request from Cameron to draw Pikachu. So I'm going to try to do that now. So I'm going to use my shapes. So I'm going to start with my body, and I'm using my pencil because I'm probably going to mess up. So I got my pencil and I got an eraser nearby just so I can fix my mistakes if I need to. So while you're creating your own Pokemon, you can either stop doing that and try to draw Pikachu with me, or you can continue to create your own Pokemon and just watch later if on how to draw Pikachu when I post this live. You can choose to do whichever one you like. I'm going to continue drawing Pikachu here. So I'm going to start with my square. Alright, because I found my square as my body here. I can cross that one off. And then it seemed to have an oval at the bottom. And then two little ovals for feet. He had a big oval here for a hand. And another oval going this way. Then he had a bunch of triangles for fingers. Then I said its head was a circle. But it wasn't a perfect circle because he has cheeks, so we had some other circles down here. And then he had our leaf shape for ears. So we had a circle with a triangle, a circle with a triangle. So I think I got the other shape down pretty good. I look and I don't like the way this ear is facing because on this Pikachu it's facing outwards. So I'm going to take my eraser and erase this ear. And that's why it's good to use pencil. And I'm going to make him go more out this way and put our triangle facing this way. And then I think we had circles for eyes over top of our other circles. We had a little triangle for a nose. We had a round triangle for the mouth. It looked like it had a little circle for the tongue. Okay, I think I like my shapes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline a little bit darker with my pencil what shapes I like the best so I know what to trace with my marker. So I'm going around my ear, going on my head, go down my circle, around my other circle, stop there. I'm going to trace my oval for my hand. But I'm going to stop at the fingers. I'm going to start tracing my oval here. And then I'm going to draw its feet. And I missed one important part of Pikachu. I forgot to do his tail. So I'm going to follow the shapes I did. So it looks like right at the bottom where the oval meets the square, he's got a little square. And he's got a rectangle going upwards. And he's got a fatter rectangle going out this way. And a little bit of a rectangle on an angle. And finally one big rectangle up here. And now I'm going to trace what I like about that. Okay, I think I like it. I think it's time to color our Pikachu. So if I'm going a little too fast for you, that's okay. I'm trying to go faster today so the episode isn't as long. And that way, hopefully I can save it this time and post it so you guys can draw along later. So I'm going to have to find my colors. So I'm going to go with a yellow for my body. And I'm going to color in everything I think is not yellow. If you really wanted to take your time with a drawing, if you're a little bit older, a good piece of advice is to outline everything first in black. We call that process inking, that you like and you want to keep. Let that black marker dry. It might take 10-15 minutes. And then erase all your pencil marks, so they're not there anymore. And then color afterwards. So if I was doing a big drawing or a drawing that I would want to hang on the fridge or take my time or one of my drawings that I sell, I wouldn't be able to do it in 5 minutes like this. It would take me a couple days. So just because you can't do things as quick as me doesn't mean you're not doing it right. Oh, the yellow already makes it look like Pikachu. Now it looks like it's got kind of a reddish, pinkish, orangish color, and I don't really have that. I'm gonna try this light red for the cheeks. And for the top part of its mouth. And it looks like the bottom of its tail too. I mean, I think it's looking pretty good since I've never drawn Pikachu before. And then it looks like the tip of his ears are black. Tips of his ear on this side is black. And it looks like his eyeballs are black. So you can see on Pikachu here, the person that drew this Pikachu left the highlights in the eyes. So that's what we've been practicing too this week. So I'm going to outline my eyes and leave an area where I want to have that highlight. So outline my eye, leave an area where I want to leave my highlight. Little nose. I think that's about it. All that's left is to outline our Pikachu. And I see in the picture he's got these little lines for toes. And I think I'll take a red color in his tongue. My Pikachu isn't as good as the other ones, but that was my first time drawing it, so I need a lot more practice, obviously. But I think that kind of looks like Pikachu. So I think that's it for today. Okay, so I want you to remember that when you're drawing your own Pokemon, there's no right way to do it. It's your imagination. There's no point trying to be exactly the same as them or trying to be so different. There's already, I don't know, 800 plus Pokemon out there. So do it your way, because your way is probably the best way. And I'm going to continue to work on creating my Pokemon right here. Okay? So until I see you guys again on the next episode, keep on drawing. Don't forget to sign all your artwork when you're done. Alright? And get your parents or your guardians to send me a picture of the Pokemon you created today. Alright? I've got my 3 here. Try all different types. Experiment. Play around. Use all the different parts of the animals. Okay? So have fun creating. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time.